Good evening, Fit Tribe. Tonight we are going to talk about labels, how to read labels, and what you should be looking for. That's probably one of the biggest questions that I get asked all the time. People will send me screenshots of, can I have this? Is this okay? So let's talk about those labels. One most important thing when you're looking at food labels or any labels, a lot of times they have what we call buzzwords that trick you to purchase those items, okay? So think about the buzzwords that you see on labels. Example, fat-free, all-natural, organic. Here's a really good one. Can help lower cholesterol. Okay, this is Cheerios. I wonder how that helps lower cholesterol. So there's so many buzzwords that trick you. That's what the food industry does, is they want you to purchase that item by using those buzzwords. Now, second thing is you want to make sure that you're watching the serving sizes. So when you flip over the label on the back, you know, you're seeing calories, you're seeing proteins, you're seeing carbs, and a lot of times we are already focused on looking at the calories. That's kind of a lot of times the number one thing that most people look at when they look at the label. They look at calories. They forget to look at the little fine print underneath, how many servings are in that particular item. Now, this is a big item, of course, but example could be like a bag of nuts, a bag of chips, some of those types of things, small little things, packages that are in gas stations, those things like that. Sometimes they trick you because that's really small and it will say, you know, a serving size is 1 cup. Real tiny letters, there's 14 servings here, okay? So if you eat more than 1 cup, remember you're doubling those calories or tripling how much more you're eating. And then also you're doubling, tripling everything else that goes into that food item as well. Okay, so we're gonna talk about those things. So first of all, you know, we're all about like eating whole food, you know, unprocessed packaged foods are going to be your very best options. Foods that have no labels, like sweet potatoes and, you know, your chicken breasts and things like that, your, you know, clean, unprocessed meats, your fruits and vegetables and everything that doesn't have labels are always going to be your number one choice. So I always love fresh vegetables first, then go to frozen, and canned is definitely my last choice just because of sodium content, and I just personally like more fresh than I do canned vegetables, unless it's beans or something, okay? So let's talk about those right there. So on labels on vegetables, for example, if you're buying a frozen bag of vegetables, the one thing you always want to look for is the ingredients in here. So it's great to look at the calories and all that, the sugar count, the protein, the carbs. But the most important part of the label is what is in the label by the ingredients. So frozen vegetables, I've seen some that have so much other stuff in there. This should have nothing in here but peas. Okay, so looking at the label, ingredients are peas, so this would be something that would be okay. So that's something you want to look at. Same thing with fruit, when you're buying fruit. Now, a lot of times we're prone to look at the sugar count because yes, America overconsumes sugar. In fact, you know, most Americans are probably having on an average of about 50 some pounds of sugar a year. Isn't that crazy? But a lot of it is added sugar that you don't even know that you're getting in items. So that's where you have to go beneath the label and look at the ingredients. So this is fruit, so it's gonna have sugar in it. It has natural sugar in there. But the key is, did they add more sugar to it so it would have added sugar? So this says the sugar count on this is 11, 0 added. I still check the ingredients. The ingredients are blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. So there's nothing added in here that is not fruit. So that, again, would be something that you could do in your overnight oats, in your smoothies, and things like that whenever fresh fruit is not an option for you, okay? So that's a couple things there. Now, I did some comparing of items and giving you better choices too. One really big question that I get asked is like protein bars. Protein bars are probably the number one misconception healthy item out there. They truly are nothing but glorified candy bars, the majority of them, okay? So here's what I would do when I'm buying a protein bar. First of all, I grabbed a couple. I didn't go shopping and buy all the groceries this time, but I just printed them offline. But this is a Nature Valley protein chewy bars. In big letters, it's got 10 grams of protein. Okay, that's a buzzword. You're gonna draw to that because you're like, okay, Kim talks about protein. We need more protein in our diet. These must be a healthy option because they talk about, you know, having protein in there. So when you turn it over on the backside, you're going to find out that it has corn syrup in there. That's hidden sugar that is like fructose corn syrup is one of the worst sweeteners that you can put in there. It's very bad for your health. It's bad for, you know, it's known for heart, you know, diabetes, all of those things. And they hide that without putting the actual word sugar in many, many different ways of giving sugar into that item. Okay, so when I see fructose, corn syrup, or corn fibers, a lot of times that is like something that I do not purchase. Okay, here's another one, the Pure Protein bars. Okay, these have a lot of protein in it. 20 grams of protein, only 2 sugars is what it says on the front of the label, and only 200 calories. When you flip it over and you look at the label, again, you want to look at the ingredients. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there's a ton of ingredients in here, okay? When there's this many ingredients in here, put it down. You don't need all of that in a protein bar. Do the counts look good? Yeah, it's only got 6 grams of fat. It's got 16 carbohydrates. That's not bad. And it has 20 grams of protein. That's awesome. And it says, you know, only 2 grams of sugar. However, it has added 6 grams of sugar alcohols. So there's your next part of your sugar. So sugar alcohols are something that are, of course, you know, artificial sugars. A lot of times, you know, in moderation, you guys, artificial sweeteners are not a bad option. There are some that I would definitely stay away from. That would be your aspartame, your saccharin. Those are equals, sweet and low. Those are really, they've done a lot of studies on those, and those are known to cause migraine headaches and, you know, even some other health issues too. So most of the time, like sucralose, which is one that's been around for a long time. I know it gets a lot of bad raps out on the internet when you start searching around for it, but in all the studies that I've done and the certifications that I've had, there is no known side effect truly with sucralose. That's Splenda, okay? Your body does not absorb sucralose, okay? Stevia is another one. Now, again, with both of these, they're still artificial. So I think in moderation definitely is best, because anytime you're putting anything artificial or sweet into your body's only going to crave more of that. So your brain's getting tricked to think more sweet stuff's coming. So if you struggle with sugar cravings and all of that, the less artificial sweeteners, the less sugar that you can put in your body, the better off you're going to be in the long run, because your body's going to stop craving that. Now, I know it takes a little bit of time at first to get past that. And I've shared this before, your taste buds change about every 10 days. So hang with it. I remember when I used to drink Coke, and then I went to Diet Coke, how I was like, ooh, you know, I thought it was a better option because I wanted to stop drinking so much regular soda. And it took me a while to get used to the taste of diet soda. It was terrible. It had aftertaste and so on. Then I loved it. And then, of course, then I started my health journey and realized that I needed to be drinking water. And it took me a while to get off of that too. Now, there's no way I could go drink a diet soda right now, or even a regular one. A regular one tastes like syrup. And the other one, I would taste all the chemicals in it as well. So your taste buds change to what you start putting in your body. So if you want a better outcome for health, and I mentioned this in my post today, you know, nutrition is not about just losing weight on the scale. It's about the life that you gain. You know, it's not about the weight you lose. It's about the life you gain, because think of all the health benefits. And I believe too, as always, that putting good food in your system, in your body, good things in your body, you're going to have long-term benefits with other types of things like heart disease and diabetes and all of those different diseases out there that a lot of Americans struggle with. Okay, so protein bars are like number one thing that people promote as healthy. You walk into the gas station, oh, it's a protein bar, I'm going to get that. Well, another option that is much better are the RX bars. Okay, so RX bars, you can buy these at Walmart in the cereal aisle. They're not in the protein bar aisle. They have 4 ingredients in here. So that's what you're looking for. Less ingredients, natural ingredients. Yes, it's got sugar in it, but what are the ingredients? Okay, it says it has 12 grams of protein and it's got 13 sugars. You might look at that and go, oh, that's kind of high in sugar. But what is in this bar? Okay, egg whites, dates, there's your sugar, okay? Cashews, almonds, and sea salt. So that's pretty much all that is in the RX bars. So they're a very good, clean option when you need something sweet or you're out on the go and you need to put something in your purse to get that extra protein in or that snack. Okay, so in lieu of protein bars, RX bars would be a better option. Kind bars are okay too. They're very clean, but they have less protein in them. So these are just, when they came out with these about 6 years ago, I was like, okay, these are really good. They're a little gooey. They stick to your teeth a little bit, but definitely, like I said, a better option because they're made with dates. Okay, so that's protein bars. And if you guys have one that you need help with, please post in here and I'll go back through the feed and answer those questions too. But I wanted to cover the things that I get asked a lot too. So another one is water flavorings. Here's a really good one, okay? So I don't like real water, so what can I put in it? So a lot of people are doing like Great Value little Mia drops or the little Great Value drops. Okay, so looking at the label on there, the nutrition facts, it says on here, oh, it has less than 1 carb. The total sugars are 0 added. Okay, Kim said you can't have added sugar, so that's good. Doesn't have any protein, so everything's 0. So this looks good, okay? However, you gotta look at the ingredients. That's the most important part. When people send me labels, I'll say I can't see the ingredient list. That's the part that I look at first whenever I look at items, okay? So the ingredient, it has in here a whole bunch of stuff. And propylene glycol is the one that just dropped my attention. Okay, propylene glycol, you guys, is like antifreeze that they put in RVs, okay? Do you want that chemical in your body? That is in so many additive foods for preserving it. In fact, I don't know the exact names of them and all that too, but the little packaged muffins and cookies and things like that that are sitting at your cashier, your registers in your grocery stores, they pretty much all have propylene glycol in there because remember, the food industry is interested in shelf life and longevity. So getting that item to stay as long as they can fresh is they're having to put chemical type things in there. So, you know, you're better off, like I said, making your own muffin and so on, and definitely using your own flavoring drops by putting, if you don't like water, put lemons and cucumbers and strawberries and fresh fruit in there. That's going to be way better than getting those chemical flavoring drops. Okay. And I know sometimes water is like tough to get to like, you know, especially if you, like I myself, was addicted to Diet Coke where I did nothing but drink Diet Coke from the morning I got up till I went to bed at night. It's hard to change those habits, and to get your body to like those. But again, it's going to come from you giving your body the opportunity to change to that taste. If you're not putting plain water in, how do you know that your body's ever going to crave that plain water if you've always got some type of chemical in there? And remember, again, because that's sweet, it still is going to trick that brain to want more sweet things, and it's not going to give your body a chance to eliminate cravings and those things. Okay, so those things are bad. Stay away from those things there. The next one is yogurts. Whenever I look at the grocery store and we have like yogurt in our plan, there's 2 kinds of yogurts out there. There's the dairy-based yogurt, the Greek yogurts, and then there's the non-dairy, which is like your coconut yogurt. If you've not heard of that, that's personally what I do is the coconut yogurt because I don't like to do dairy. So when you're choosing your yogurts, a couple things that I always look for. Number one is the protein count in there. Number two, the sugar. So I'm going to talk about dairy ones, okay? So this is Okias 000. This is one, on the front of it, it says, you know, it's got 0 added sugar, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 fat in there, and 17 grams of protein per serving. So again, when you're looking at the containers, you're going to watch the serving sizes. That's the next thing. And then, of course, the calories and all of the macros and all of that are calculated versus, you know, what the serving size is. And all of you guys on the customized plan, you'll have your own special serving size of all the items to meet your macro needs or your calorie needs. That's what's so great about the customized plan is you'll get, you know, like if it says, you know, you get maybe a cup of this instead of 3/4 cup. So you'll know your serving size. All right. So now choosing the right yogurt is kind of hard. If you go in there, the whole grocery store is filled with yogurts now. And back years ago when they came out with Greek yogurt, that was like the buzzword, Greek yogurt, because it's more protein in there. So then they take and they start changing things up to get you to buy them more by putting more added stuff in there and sweeteners and so on. Okay. Now, this one here is important. Dairy is always going to have sugar in it because it's lactose sugar. So you're never going to get a dairy-based yogurt that has 0 sugar in there. It's not going to happen. What you're going to look for is 0 added sugar. So this has, on the front of the label, it told me that it had 0 added sugar. So when I look at the back, it says 6 sugars. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of confused. I thought it said it had 0 sugar. So, but underneath 0 added sugars, because lactose is sugar in dairy, it's going to be like a natural sugar that's going to be in here. So you're never going to get a Greek yogurt or a dairy-based yogurt without sugar. So 6 to 9, 11 grams of sugar is pretty much about normal. Anything past that, you can do much better, because I'll show you the next one that I have pulled up. This is called the Greek Gods Greek yogurt, and this is at Aldi. And when I pull this up here, on the back of it, the label, it says 23 sugars. Okay, that's way high. 15 are added, because remember I told you it's gonna have some, but look at that next line. It's got 15 added sugars in there. So that's something that I would not choose. Not a good item, even though, and the protein's very low in here too. The carbs are high because carbs are sugar. So, so watch and read. Usually a lot of times, if it has like a honey vanilla or something like that, you know it's added more stuff in there too. Okay, so that's at Aldi, that one there. And now the coconut yogurt. So you have vanilla coconut. This is the brand that I use. This is the So Delicious brand. They have this at Walmart too, okay? They also have a silk almond one too, as well. I've seen that before. I just like this one better. The only downfall to the coconut yogurts is their protein is very low because they're made from coconuts and not a dairy-based protein. So I always add 1 scoop of my plant-based protein powder in here to add more protein to it. And I'll tell you what, something I've really been doing lately, and it's really good, is I put that in the freezer for about 15 minutes and get it really cold. And then I add my either fruit or my little gluten-free topping on there with the granola and stuff like that. And I almost feel like I'm getting a Dairy Queen Blizzard with my afternoon snack, the coconut and yogurt snack, okay? Okay, so this one says just vanilla. So make sure, again, you go back and you read the labels. This does not say unsweetened. So they have added 17 sugars in here. So this one is not one that you want to choose. You want to choose the unsweetened vanilla coconut yogurt. It's less than 1 gram of sugar in here, and it has 8 carbs, where this one here was 25 carbs because of all the sugar that they added to this. Okay, so very important that you look at that part of the label. I have done it myself just by accident, picking up one and got home with that. Oh my gosh, I bought the one that had the sugar in it instead of the unsweetened sugar. Remember, is that gonna, be a bad thing? No, if you did that and you bought it and you ate it, it's not gonna be terrible. But the more that we continue to do those, again, the more sugar we're getting, every day just adds up. And like I said, most people are getting it in so many different ways that, the studies are showing that we're eating, 50 some pounds of sugar a year without even knowing it. And so that's can add tons of weight to us, because that's the number one cause. Sugar is the number one cause of diabetes, which of course is, the thing that, causes us to gain weight and so on, and have a lot of health issues too. Okay. So that's yogurts. The next one I got up was Miracle Whip mayonnaise. Okay. So like, hey, you want to have a sandwich, or you want to have chicken. I like chicken salad. I love doing the chicken, dice it up and put the some type of mayonnaise base in there with some celery or grapes, and I wrap it up in my gluten-free wrap. That's our chicken salad sandwich, or chicken wraps. That's something I love to do. So I compared Miracle Whip to the mayonnaise that I use, which is the Primal Kitchen at Walmart. Okay, so you can also buy this on Amazon too. And if you can't find this, another really good mayonnaise base is the plain zero sugar Greek yogurt. That works as well too. Okay, but let's look at why mayonnaise or Miracle Whip is so bad. So in here, it doesn't look bad on the calories. It's only 40 calories for a serving, which is 1 tablespoon. Not terrible. Only 2 carbs. Only has 1 added sugar, so that's pretty good. But when you look down here, one of the key things, couple ones really drop my attention. Soybean oil and also high fructose corn syrup is in here too. Okay, so those are, again, sugars that it's not showing in the label, but also causing major health issues when you see the high fructose corn syrup and soybean oil. Okay. So don't tell my husband, he's a farmer, he grows corn and soybeans. So anyway, but I stay away from those types of things. This one here is really, really good. You won't even know that you're not having Miracle Whip too. So that's a much better option. Again, watch the serving size of it too. So, because it's very high in calories, because it's made from avocado oil, and avocados are high in fat. So you want to make sure that you're watching the serving sizes. And avocados are those good fats. Fats are not bad. Years ago they used to think, all of the, you had to go no fat diet. You need fat in your diet, especially for hormones and to help your HDL levels. If you're getting, good cholesterol or good fats in there, it's going to help your good cholesterol too. Okay, so that one is good. The next one is salad dressings. And let's see, I didn't grab another one, but I'll just give you an idea. So biggest buzzwords on salad dressings is fat-free, light. Those are types of things, okay? So when you look at this one here, yes, it's light, less, it says on the front, 50% less fat and 30% fewer calories than regular dressing. Okay, so I pulled up the regular one online, and it had less sugar in here, and also the fat was very, very similar. That usually is the key. So whenever they take out the fat, a lot of times down to 0, they add more sugar to make it taste better. So if it's fat-free or less fat, they're just adding more sugar to those salad dressings. And truly, the fat count's not all that much difference. I think the full fat one was only like 2 or 3 grams of fat, which is nothing, okay? So watch your salad dressings. Watch the chemicals that are in those labels too. You can make your own so easy with olive oil and balsamic vinegar, some garlic. Those things you can never go wrong with. Again, the olive oil is going to be a good fat for you. That will help you, again, with putting those good fats in your body. Because trans fats are bad. Those are the things that you want to watch for also on the labels. The trans fats are the things that clog arteries and so on. That's the number one fat that you definitely want to make sure that you're not consuming a lot of, okay? Now, I talked a little bit about vegetables in a can. always buy beans in a can because I like to make the chilies and the taco soups and things like that, or just have some black beans for my carbs with my, like I made this buffalo chicken. I just made my chicken and put the buffalo sauce on there to change it up a little bit, and I added my beans in there for a black bean and buffalo chicken bowl, okay, with my vegetables. So you can do that. Again, this one here doesn't have any salt in here. So you can use, I like to buy my canned goods with low sodium in there because a lot of times sodium is something that you need in your diet. You know, 1,500 to 2,500 milligrams a day is average. But if you are buying a lot of things that already have so much in there, it's really hard to stay in that range. I like to use like sea salt. It has much more minerals in there than your table salt, which is stripped down of all the minerals. So adding your pink Himalayan sea salt to it. So a lot of times I buy these salt-free, okay? So that's that one there. Here's another good example is applesauce. Okay, so applesauce, remember it's a fruit, so it's gonna have what on the label? Sugar, okay? However, they add a lot of sugar to the applesauce, so you wanna make sure that you're buying unsweetened applesauce. Check the labels. We use this a lot in recipes and things too, and 0 added sugars, but it has 12 grams of sugar in here. So again, if you're just focused on just that one line, and a lot of people miss some of the other lines, like how many added sugars, or they stop reading the ingredients to really truly know what's going in this item. So the ingredients are apples and water, basically. So the sugar is not added to this. So that's another item there that is good to do. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about carbohydrates. Oatmeal. Oatmeal. I love oatmeal. We talk about this in our plan. Lots of different recipes with oatmeal too. There's a lot of different oatmeals on the shelf out there. Of course, a lot of them have sugar in there, maple brown sugar, all of those different ones. They have a lot of new little things coming out too. I've noticed the other day, there's little prepackaged things like grab and go stuff that are just filled with sugar, little bitty cups. I've already made, like overnight oats or something like that. Again, you can do so much better on the nutrients by making them yourself versus buying those prepackaged items. Because remember, they have to add that stuff in there. A lot of them have to add things in there to preserve the shelf life. And then of course, sugar is addictive. So whenever you get sugar in an item, you're gonna wanna buy that item again because they wanna keep you addicted to sweet stuff like that, okay? So regular oats is gonna be perfect. You're not gonna have sugar in here. A little tip on purchasing carbohydrates that are packaged like oatmeals and rice cakes. And I'm not a huge fan of cereal, but you might have kids that love cereal. Okay, you might have a husband that loves cereal. You might want to make the peanut butter balls that have Go Lean cereal in them. So a couple of the recipes have that in there. So how you choose the best carbohydrate or item for you, and to make sure that it doesn't spike insulin levels, because carbohydrates are the #1 thing that spikes our insulin levels, causing us to overeat on them, again, causing weight gain. That's why they get the bad rap, because people overeat on them. They don't portion control. They're not watching serving sizes, and they're eating things with way too much sugar in there, okay? So all carbohydrates most of the time will have some form of sugar in there because, like I said, that's what they're made from. But you gotta watch the amount of sugar that is in the packaged carbohydrates, okay? This does not work on any other items like dairy or protein powders or so on, but what you're gonna do is go by the 20% rule, okay? So I always poo-pooed the chocolate rice cakes until my Dollar General came out with Good and Smart ones, okay? And these actually fit the sugar rule, okay? So what you do is you first look at the carbohydrate count. So there's 8 carbs in here per serving, which is 1 piece. The next thing you want to do is look at the amount of sugar, because it's probably going to have some sugar in there, okay? So as long as the sugar does not make up more than 20% of the carbohydrates, it's an item that will not spike sugar levels, okay? So this one falls right on the line. It's like 1.6 is what it should be. And it's like 2. So this is an okay item. Like caramel works too. Plain is always going to be good because a lot of times those have no sugar in there. But these actually are very good. Okay, so in your plan, a lot of times you'll have rice cakes and something. These are good with the peanut butter on them. So I got these at Dollar General. They're the Good and Smart brand. Okay, so coffee got us at Dollar General, and I'm taking advantage of that there. Of course, then on regular oatmeal, most likely is going to have just 1 sugar in there. So I know with 27 grams, I don't even need to do the math on that. Regular oats are going to be fine. Okay, now let's check out Honey Nut Cheerios for your hubby, for your kids, and so on. So it's got 30 carbs. So if the sugar should not be more than 20%, in my mind, what I do is I double that first number, okay? So 6 sugars or less, and this item is okay, it has 12. So it basically has double the amount of sugar than what it should have, okay? Another good one too, I didn't have the box on it, but the protein Cheerios, they have a protein Cheerios now too. So again, people are gonna buy that because they think, oh, it's a healthier item. Cereal is a popular item. I personally myself don't eat it, but like I said, in some items and things like that, it's not bad. Or if you're out and about, it's not a terrible option as long as you watch, like I said, the sugar count in there too. Okay, so Go Lean, Kashi Go Lean cereal. There's a lot of different brands out there. Again, you want to do the sugar test on those when you're making the peanut butter balls and you're buying the plain ones versus the ones that are all filled with a ton of sugar. You'll just have better results that way, and you'll be able to keep sugar levels even throughout the day. Because that's the number one reason that people are not losing weight is their sugar levels are all over the place. They're either overeating or they're not eating enough food at the right times of the day to keep their sugar levels even. So with your plan, you have no guesswork. It's all right there for you. Drawn out 7 options every week that you can change around. And by the way, make sure too that you're just doing 1 or 2 options a week and not being overwhelmed at the grocery store. So before you had 4 options, now you have 7, and that's going to last you for 2 weeks. So pick a couple options this week on your plan, and then pick a couple options next week and change it up a little bit. Too. And the new system, remember, you can send that grocery list to your email, or you can put it right up on your phone and then click it off as you purchase those items. So that's really cool that you can do that too. Okay. Another one is I got these carbohydrates too. So I love the chickpea pasta. Okay. So I don't like to do gluten. So chickpeas are not going to have gluten in there. They're made from chickpeas instead of wheat items, okay? So again, if you do a pasta, it's the portion of it that is the key. So following that, a lot of times, I forget who I was talking about this the other day about, like, I went into, this is a long time ago, I went into like a hibachi grill and got like some rice and, like a protein bowl, and literally could count, there was 8 cups of rice in that meal. Okay, so those are items that are cheap, so they usually give you tons when you're eating out. So make sure when you really only need probably a half to 3/4 cup of rice. So they're overfeeding, a person by 8 times, on there, because the whole thing was just filled with rice. Okay, so portion control is so important on these items here. Vegetables, eat as much as you want. In your plan, even if it says, you get 2 cups. If you want to eat, 4 cups of green beans, as long as you're not putting sauces and things like that on there, go for it. Because most of the time it costs you more calories to chew and digest that item than what that item actually is in calories. Okay, so both of these were bought at Walmart. Okay, they're made from chickpeas. They're very good. You won't even notice truly that it's not wheat-based pasta. So they have spaghetti, and then they have the little penne noodles too. So a lot of times I like to do like a protein or a chicken pasta or salmon pasta with some vegetables and broccoli in there and all that. Super easy to make also too. Okay, so if you're pre-cooking your meats like I always do, your meat cooks down about 20 to 25%. So if your plan says you get 5 ounces of protein, you can take that down to 4 if it's already cooked, because it cooks down. So you got to allow for that cooking down. So anyway, and then another thing too, remember that all proteins are pretty much interchangeable. So if you get a recipe and it's salmon, pasta, vegetable bowl, and you have chicken cooked up, do the same amount of serving of chicken versus the salmon. It's the same as what we've always done, is doing those swaps right there, because pretty much all protein has about 7 grams of protein per ounce. So if you get 4 ounces of salmon, take it down to 4 ounces of chicken, it will be pretty close to the same. The only thing that would be a little different would be the fat count as well, but that would be minor as long as you're not buying extremely high fatty meats, okay? Here's another one, creamers. So this one here on the front says sugar-free. When I look at it, guess what it has in here? Corn syrup. And a lot of times the first parts of the label, the ingredients, is what is the most in that item. Okay, so that one had that as the first ingredient. So I know that that's a big one. So don't be tricked by just reading this part right here. Okay, this part really doesn't mean all that much to me. I always like to see the ingredient part there. Okay, and then the last couple ones are sauces and condiments. So I love the G. Hughes. I still read every label that he puts out, because it's kind of like Kodiak cakes. Kodiak pancakes came out, and they have some great items and things like that too, and they're very good. Now they're getting a lot of prepackaged things that are filled with sugar, like brownies and, you know, these pre-made, you know, muffins and all that. They're nothing but just filled with sugar, and that you can do so much better. So, you know, they take their brand, and then they start, you know, changing it up a little bit. And again, it tricks you, because how many people really spend time reading labels? Not too many, okay? But G. Hughes, a lot of those are made very, very well. So again, check the labels on there. This only has 5 calories. It's my favorite one, the orange ginger. I use this a lot in my protein bowls or to flavor my meats, and so on. So it's really good. They have a teriyaki sauce. But again, I still like to check the ingredients and everything too. So to make sure that it's not got something in there that I personally don't want to put in my body too. And then we have salsa, and also here's like a pasta sauce, okay? So you can definitely make your own pasta sauce by, you know, grinding up the tomatoes and doing that yourself and doctoring it up, and that's going to be super clean. And I know we have, you know, we live in a world where we kind of need packaged things and stuff too. So this brand here is not that bad. There's not a lot of bad stuff that I found in here. Anything like this will have more sodium in there, because it's a preservative that they're going to need. So fresh is always better. But again, pick your battles on sodium. If you're doing really good, clean eating, you know, 300 milligrams of sodium for a serving is not going to be that bad, as long as you're having the rest of your meals not packaged or eating out, dining out all the time. That's where we get a lot of our sodium too. Okay, sauce is good. This one here has nothing but the actual tomatoes and the corn and all of that too. Again, it's got 1 gram of sugar in there, which that's going to come from the tomatoes, and then zero added sugars. Okay, so I like this on chicken. The chicken enchilada recipe is really good. If I can find fresh, I like black bean and corn salsa fresh, but it's super hard to find. So I do buy the Great Value a lot at Walmart too. And like I said, the only downfall is it would have the sodium, but I pretty much eat clean all the other times that I need to add some sea salt. Okay, so remember that. Sometimes you need to add salt so your sodium levels don't get super low. Okay, so high fructose corn syrup, stay away from that one. Start reading those labels and making sure, pretty much anything that ends in an OL. Do you know there's a ton of names for sugars? Anything that ends in an OL is another form of sugar, okay? So the food companies have found a way to not just put the word sugar on there so that you're noticing that, but to trick you by putting all different types of sugars in there. And artificial sweeteners, stevia is great. Another one too, I meant to pull up one of those. I had it in my hand. I set it down. Was the protein powders and all of that stuff. That's why it came out with the protein line that we have and the supplements that we have, because I know what's added in there. Okay, so I got so tired of protein powders that were hurting my stomach and having so much junk in there. Yes, they might taste good, but whenever I switched to the pea protein, the plant protein that literally has nothing but digestive enzymes in there, if you'll notice on our label, and the pea protein and the chocolate or the vanilla in there too, and all of the branched chain amino acids, that's it, and stevia. So when you look at protein powders, majority of them have this many labels on or ingredients on there. A lot of them I can't even pronounce. So you never know what that's doing to your system. Like example, sugar alcohols kill my insides. I mean, I literally feel like I'm having a baby after I have sugar alcohol. So I have to watch that one. So it may not affect you that way, but if you're having bloating and different issues like that, your body's not absorbing something that you're putting in it. So the cleaner you can go, the better. And that's why we came out with the pea protein, and now we have the whey isolate protein. Both of those are very, very clean. Again, you might be used to a sweet tasting protein powder and everything, and then whenever you try a pea protein, it's hard to get a plant-based protein to taste good. But I think we've done a really good job. I totally love ours, but I'm used to it too. And I do the whey protein every now and then, and it doesn't bother me, even though it is a dairy, but it's very low in lactose. So that's good. But I just prefer the plant. It's thicker, and it's just something that I personally like. So that's kind of why we did that. So watch those things out there, any package things that you're doing. Again, start to learn to be a label reader, and that's what's so good about, having that knowledge of knowing some of these words, these buzzwords that you're seeing on the front of the labels and or the front of the boxes or something, to trick you into buying it without actually reading what truly is on what is in this item. Okay, so I'm gonna scan through here. I have tried a lot of protein powders, and yours does have the best taste. Oh, good, Deb, thank you. We're trying to always improve too. I'm gonna come around here and get closer to the camera so I can read. Okay, hey Deb, Jackson, Donna. Oops, I forgot I had my Ring doorbell on the thing. I'm charging it now. It thinks I'm at the door. Anybody else have a question? Hi Marty, hi Paula, Dawn. What brand names for coconut yogurt? I cannot tolerate it. Okay, so I shared that. It is the So Delicious is my favorite brand, Pam. Okay. Walmart carries it, but you have to watch. Sometimes our Walmart doesn't have the sugar-free, and I know it's what they sell. The most of is what they keep. So different times I've had to get it at a different Walmart too. And of course, another good place that has it, if you have a Target in your area, Target usually carries it too. Okay. Anybody else have another question or something about the labels? So, oh, thank you. Thank you for liking my apron. I thought I'd look like I was a cook today. All right, let's see. Hey Tina, how are you? Hi April. So if you have any questions at all, like I said, the food labels are probably the #1 most confusing thing out there to know what you're looking for. They always say if you shop the outer edge of the grocery store, you're better off, and you truly are. The fruits and vegetables, the lean meats, those are always going to be things that you can't go wrong with, too. So just be mindful of your serving sizes. Follow your meal plan. It makes such a huge difference. Now that you all have your own customized plan, it makes such a difference, because some of you are, you're all at different levels. Some of you are, you want to lose weight. Some of you are ready to build muscle. Some of you want to do a little bit of both. And that's what we all want to do, right? Is lean down and keep that muscle mass. So that's what our plans do. It's not starvation. It's teaching you that lifestyle and making sure that you're getting the right nutrients for you. And starvation is not the key. And I've lived that life too myself, trying to think that, oh my gosh, I can't eat this because I'm on a diet, and it never worked. And now I know why. You have to eat more to lose more, and make sure you're eating the right portion sizes. Okay, so when you get your plan, if you're brand new, pick out just a couple options and follow those for a little bit. Then the next week, pick out a couple more as well. And then change it up if you want to, but you don't have to do a different meal every day. I personally don't. I like to cook for 2 or 3 days and make maybe a few different things with it, but also I like to have kind of the same concept going. If I'm gonna buy quinoa or if I'm gonna buy sweet potatoes, I'm gonna keep kind of that same theme going as well, okay? So, anybody else? Hey, Jalen. Girl, where are you? I'm missing her at 7:30 class. I'm going to get on her here in a minute. So she's not been here for a while, so I'm going to get on her. Just embarrass you on the video, right? All right. So, guys, that's it. Give yourself 25 points. Those of you tracking points for our challenge. This week, I'm going to talk a lot about nutrition. So if you have any questions at all on labels, like I said, I get so many screenshots of labels and people ask me if this is an okay item. So I want to teach you what to do at the grocery store and know what items are best for you. Okay? Have a great day.